is what I like to call the number rock wall, because this one has numbers at the top, and then our other rock wall over here has letters at the top separating each section. This is something that we acquired my third year teaching at the school. It was a PTO fundraising event, and this is you can kind of see the sections. Each number is a different section of the wall. So the plywood section, which is an 8x4, so it's 8 feet tall. And since there are 5 sections, it's 20 feet long, and it's a traverse wall. So both of the rock walls I have are traverse walls, which means you try to go across, and this red line is the safety line, so the kids keep their feet below that red line. So you're basically bouldering and trying different problems. You can see the different colors on the wall. Those are the different routes that you can climb, and they are divided by difficulty. So the kids, first in kindergarten and first grade, they just try to climb across the wall. They don't worry about the colors too much. And then in second and third grade, I'm telling them and teaching them some of the routes so they can climb. Green is the easiest, yellow is medium, green and yellow is a little bit easier than green, and you can mix up the routes and things like that. And then in fourth and fifth grade, I challenge them to try to keep track of what color they're on and how far across they can climb, and if anybody can climb the red, which is the hardest one. Another fun challenge we do sometimes, we have these little noodle holders that go on the rock wall, and I have 3 of those set up, and so that kind of creates 3 different stations on the wall. So for the noodle challenge, you want to put your hands on the start. There's a little blue piece of tape that says start right here. Both hands have to go on that when you're on the wall, and then you're trying to find a way to climb through the wall without knocking the noodle down. And then you want to get your hands to the finish. So this one is marked finish, both hands go on the finish. So now I've completed that noodle challenge. I can go to the other ones. You see we have yellow set right here and then a red set over there on the end. My basic rules are pretty much one person for each number, or over there each letter. And then if you fall down, they have to walk off the mat and go back to the start, and making sure that nobody walks on the mat back to the start, because you wouldn't want people walking on the mat behind someone when they're climbing. So that's pretty much it, although Everlast Climbing does have a nice rules poster that they gave us right there. But those are pretty much the main rules. And I do an activity to introduce the rock wall to my kindergarten first graders, which I already have a video about, and I will link it up somewhere in the description here. It's called Climbers and Coaches. Next up, let's talk about our letter rock wall. And this one basically is a little bit longer because we didn't want to have to move the basketball crank there, so that's why we didn't connect them, which I'm really glad we didn't, because it allows me to have 2 separate station activities, 2 different rock walls for kids to climb on. So we left a little space there, and then we kind of just went to the end of the wall over here on this side, and that allowed us to get 6 panels. So this one is 24 feet by 8, 24 feet long, 8 feet high. Same idea as far as you can't put your feet above the red, but you'll see this one has little formations on it, rock formations. And so that's just another type of wall that makes it a little more realistic, a little more natural, and kids can use those little grips to put their feet on or their hands to grab it, and it feels more like a real rock. That's the only difference between the 2 walls. This one is a little bit nicer, and you can price those on Everlast Climbing. They'll give you a quote for how much it costs. And similar to our other wall, we have the routes, so the different colors that you can climb that changes the difficulty of the challenge. And also these little noodle holders can make like a little mine bomb area they try to avoid. And then this is a hula hoop holder, which holds a hula hoop, and the kids try to climb through the hula hoop, just like the noodle challenge. But instead of having a noodle, you're trying to climb through hula hoop without knocking it down. So those are a fun few variations that I add in throughout the year to give kids different challenges to try when they're working on their rock climbing skills. One question I do get a lot is how did you install all these things? And we had ours professionally installed, which I would recommend if that's a possibility for you to do that. And if you buy your rock walls through Everlast Climbing, they do send somebody out to install them, and it's like one installation fee for the whole thing. I personally would have been comfortable installing rock walls myself, because that's just something that I would be comfortable with. I would be comfortable taking on the liability, because I'm confident in my ability to anchor a piece of plywood to a concrete wall. But my administration was not comfortable taking on that liability, and I think that's a wise choice, especially you don't know how long that's going to be up there, and you want to have the liability on another company if possible. If your school is a smaller school or they're more open to doing DIY projects and things like that, you can save a lot of money if you install everything yourself. That's it, guys. I hope that was helpful, and my encouragement to you would be, none of this stuff was here when I got to the school, and I didn't get it all in 1 year. It took multiple years and multiple fundraisers and multiple proposals and asks to finally get everything how I wanted it. Change takes time, so focus on one small thing you want to add to your gym each year and slowly add those things as you can, unless you have an opportunity to get a giant grant and you need to spend $40,000, and then just do it all at the same time. I do really like having the rock walls separate and the cargo net and monkey bars separate and the ropes in a separate spot, so I can kind of have different stations and more kids can get active at the same time. So I would recommend doing that if you have the space. The only downside of the rock walls is that you're kind of gonna lose some of that bouncing space if you're trying to bounce a ball off of a wall. So the kids are gonna either have to like throw the ball above the rock wall or use some of the other spaces. So that's one thing to think about. I felt that we still have plenty of space to bounce stuff on the walls in the gym. And here's the dimensions of my gym if you're interested, and the lines and the 4 square courts and everything, how it's laid out. Luckily I was able to design that because we got the floors redone my 4th year here, so I was able to design the lines on the floor exactly how I wanted them. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope that was helpful. I hope you have an awesome day, and good luck getting your own American Ninja Warrior climbing challenges, equipment type stuff in your own teaching space.